Jumbo, fellow adventurers, it's Mike Dooley on a Thursday. Reincarnation 4.0. Your amazing questions keep pouring in. Thanks for posting them down below on this Facebook page or this Instagram feed, whichever one you're watching live right now. So I don't even think I'm going to get to all of them. I'm pretty sure tomorrow's going to be 5.0. And then because other great questions keep showing up, thanks to you, Monday I will move on, and maybe in a month or two I'll do 6.0. So here we are. If something comes to mind as I answer these questions, put it down below. Maybe it'll be a better question than those now waiting on deck. So today's first question pertaining to reincarnation. Is karma why we get the parents we are born to? Or does it explain the lessons we decide we want to learn? I've talked about karma before in earlier spiritual tune-ups, but it's worth mentioning again. Karma is not an absolute law. Huge misunderstanding. Don't throw your power away. Karma is a very consistent phenomenon. We see it all the time. What goes around comes around, sure as can be. But it's usually misunderstood to such a degree that if you have one demerit, then you must be demerited against either in this lifetime or the next lifetime. And if that was absolute, it would get in the way of your thoughts becoming things. It couldn't say, believe and ye shall receive. It would have to be, believe and ye shall receive as long as your karma is okay. There's no caveat. If you change your elevation, if you live in greater truth, your behavior changes, and in that moment that you have this degree more of enlightenment, you are off the karmic wheel that you were on before, no matter what the score was. It's not a score thing. People think karma is a score thing, and what you do here has to come back in this lifetime or the next lifetime. Totally bogus. It's a phenomenon. You can rise above it with truth, okay? Ask bigger questions, have better priorities, live in the light, and your karmic debt is dissolved. So, to answer the question now, is it why we get the parents we are born of? No, we choose them. We either choose them because it's really critical and fundamental to the growth we want or the adventure we want in this lifetime, or we're in a hurry and we're like, just give me the first pair of people having a kid because I just want to be on time and space. I know that the Seth material by Jane Roberts says that it is not uncommon for folks on the other side to rush with unpleasant circumstances into their next lifetime. Hey, same kind of mistake we make here, rushing into stuff. And when you die, that does not mean that you are suddenly totally enlightened. You kind of go to an afterlife very similar, but with a better view to where you are now. So if you are in the density right now and you believe in good and evil, and when you pass, you're not going to be much further along, and you're going to be making your next decisions as to where you're going to live based on a lot of misconceptions. We learn, we take it with us where we go, and we come back and we learn more and we learn more and we learn more. So we choose our parents for a variety of reasons, good or maybe not so wise. Is karma why we choose the lessons we want to learn? Now, again, karma does not play like that. We might stub our toes. We might say, dang, I had so much trouble worrying about money or worrying about relationships or worrying about love. I'd really like to perfect that. What do you got? The guides are forthcoming, and we're shown several options as long as we take our time, prepare the way, study, choose wisely. We'll learn those lessons. Lessons we chose because we wanted to learn them. Or, as I said in 2 sessions ago, sometimes a huge misunderstanding where you're critical of a political party, or you're really overly critical of a culture or a race or anything. That misunderstanding that makes you critical will create this heightened focus on that group that will draw you to that group, maybe even become one of those group members in a near lifetime, a subsequent lifetime, Next question. What about spiritual contracts, ancient spiritual contracts? Well, sure enough, just like karma, there's some truth there, a lot of truth there, but they're not absolute. You can rip them up and tear them down and set them aflame or rewrite them on the fly every morning of every day of your life. So no one is bound by a spiritual contract. No one is limited by a spiritual contract. But you may have a lifetime where somebody, really made a huge difference for the good. And you may feel like, God, I love you so much and you were wonderful. And they're like, oh, I love you so much. It was a pleasure. And you might be like, hey, I see you got some challenges that you're choosing. I'd love to be a lifeline for you the way you were a lifeline for me. You could call that a spiritual contract. But once you get going in your life, if you change your mind, that's not unspiritual. You're like, yeah, this is not really what I wanted. And given the love in your heart, you would automatically do the best you could with what you had from where you are. And nobody else's happiness is dependent on you. Don't be so delusional that you think you're that important that somebody can't find happiness without you. So if you need to move on and change the contract or postpone it for 10,000 lifetimes, you can do that. And it's perfectly fine. So there is something to spiritual contracts, just not that they bind us or limit us in any way. Number 3, are we always with the same group of people each time, or is it random? Nothing is ever random in these sacred jungles of time and space. But from the books I've read and for the common sense that it makes, and I'll tell you more maybe next week about how I know with conviction much of what I know. But from books I've read and just deductive reasoning and knowing the freedom of life as a conscious creator, the answer is both. You may learn really well with a certain group of people and want to come back and back and back and back, and just you all love each other, and it's just like going on vacation to the jungles of time and space every lifetime. You might do that for a long time, and you might say, you know what, next lifetime I'm going to be born in a paradise or a ghetto. I have different lessons I want to learn that don't resonate with you guys, but we'll be in touch every moment of every day. We're multidimensional beings in more than one place at one time. So it's not like a big separation, goodbye my friends, I'm going to go on my own. It's like, oh man, save the drama for soap operas. In reality, that transcends time and space, there's only connection, there's only unity, there's only love in the truest sense. So you may know many people in your life today from lifetimes before, and there may have been a few surprises, a few unexpecteds. This is how you make new friends. Next question. Do twin flames reunite in every lifetime? Okay, I've spoken on soulmates on several other spiritual tune-ups. Be sure to check those out, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Soulmates do not exist as we typically understand the word. Usually there's an implication of contract, of duty, of one person that can complete you and nobody else can. Usually there's the implication that you will always be incomplete unless you find your twin flame. So none of that is true. It's all very, very romantic. It's a lot of fun. What I'm saying does not negate the fact that you can have true love for life. It does not negate the fact that at a given point in your life, maybe your whole lifetime, there is one person who would be the perfect complement for you. But also the possibility that maybe it won't be one person. Also because of your choice. Also the possibility that there may be 12 people at 12 different chapters in your life that are just the most perfect 12 people in creation for you. So there's infinite freedom there, infinite leeway. And while in the deepest sense, if there's a male, there's a female, and when we descend as God particles and there's kind of a splitting into polarities, I've read that. It makes total sense. The implication is not that you're supposed to get back together with that twin spark. That you were together, okay? Now let's go play, and we need polarity and we need divergence, and so we're going to kind of, you go this way and I'm going to go that way, and what we learn will enrich the whole. It's not like, and we must find our way back to each other because no one else will complete us the way that you complete me. That's a romantic novel, and it's very cool, but it's not reality. And you could meet somebody that was your opposite but it's not supposed to be. It's like it might happen, it might not happen. They're probably going to be too similar to you for you to really like them. They'll be like, yeah, you are too much like me, man. I can't stand it. Opposites attract. Okay, I'm trying to go through all of these amazing questions. Maybe one more. Can you call on the wisdom and guidance of past lives for help in this life? Oh, yes. What a genius idea. Please do that, everybody. Whatever challenge you're facing, whatever dream you want to realize, be wise enough to go within, ask for guidance, and to shout out to all in my reincarnational tree who have been there before me and prevailed. Bring it on. I need your light. I need your love. And don't stop there. You have access to every single conscious creator that's ever lived, will ever live, billions upon zillions upon trillions. Call on anybody and everybody who has ever been through this stuff. Now, your reincarnational tree is a little bit more close, and they're probably more likely to get the word than Zog on planet Zenith at the other end of the parallel universe. But you can draw on anybody. In fact, if you know anybody today who's a hero for you, a grandmother or Abraham Lincoln or Mahatma Gandhi, call on them. They can be in more places than one time. If you think of anybody who's passed or anybody who's alive, they will know it. And they will lend to you that which you ask. It's just a matter of you receiving it. So there's resources galore, and you absolutely can call on extended reincarnational brothers and sisters who will get you perhaps at this level like no one else could get you to be of service and guidance. I got more great questions. Still animals on deck. Discovering who we were in a past life on deck. And remember, what's most important is this life here and now. All the other stuff is fun and empowering because it speaks of our unlimited, unjudged nature. But what's most important, don't think you got to figure out the past. Figure out here and now, and everything else is good to go. Thanks for these great questions. Keep asking them below. Facebook or Instagram. Lots of love. Hi, Tina, Alexandra, Brenda, Jay, Devon. Hey, Sam. Boker Tov. All right. Adios.